Hi, I'm Mike Cadu. I'm an engineer for Universal Creative, the division that builds, designs, and creates all of the attractions for Universal Orlando Resort. All right, so when I was a kid growing up, I loved to take things apart to try and figure them out, right? And sometimes I'd take a bunch of things apart and try and put them together to try and make something better. But at that point, math really didn't mean much to me, right? I didn't particularly like it. I don't remember or not whether I was particularly good at it, right? It was just something that teachers told me I had to do as part of school, where I had to do this equation to get this answer. But I didn't understand what it would do for me later, right? It wasn't until later when I in like junior high and high school, when I realized I wanted to design things. I wanted to create things, right? I wanted to build things. I wanted to bring things to life that had never happened before, and realized that math could just be a tool like a hammer is to a carpenter. And once I did that, right, math didn't seem as hard. And just like learning a new video game, right, when it's kind of hard at first, but once you get over that first little hump, it just gets easier and easier, right? That's what math was like for me. So even though as a little kid I didn't get it, I wasn't really crazy about it, right? It became a tool that allowed me to do things like this.
That's really great for someone who hasn't.
Hi, my name is Mike West. I am an executive producer here at the beautiful Universal Orlando Resort with Universal Creative. If I could go back and talk to my 10-year-old self, I would say look around you and study and pay attention to things that you may not necessarily be interested in right now, because you want to learn everything you can, because somewhere along the way, something you learn is going to come into play with what you're doing in your life. Just pay attention to everything, you know? Don't be afraid to try anything. Go out and do the things that you might feel a little uncomfortable with because you're not really sure what it's like, but try it and experiment with it and see if you like it.
Hi, I'm Anisha Bias, and I'm an engineer here at Universal Orlando working in our creative division. Cool. Engineers can be creative too, and it's this kind of creativity that brings all of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter to life. When I was in first and second grade, I had an amazing math teacher who really pushed me to continue to develop my skills. And the coolest thing was, in second grade, we had multiplication contests in our entire classroom. And I was doing them extremely fast, and it was incredibly motivating to be cool at something, especially math. And that coolness continued throughout essentially my entire life until I came into college. And I knew I really liked math and science then as well.
What do mechanical engineers do?
Mechanical engineers think logically, know how to solve problems, and can build some really, really cool things. So I use math here every day, whether it be from crunching numbers to solving really complicated problems. And then engineering is essentially applied math here in the real world, and that's where it's really cool. So I would tell my 10-year-old self to continue talking to people, be nice to everyone, and study up.
Hi, my name is Justin Schwartz. I'm an engineer at Universal Creative, working on new attractions at Universal Orlando Resort. So I always knew when I was a kid that I wanted to build and design new rides. So I went ahead and took a path of studying math and sciences to become an engineer. Well, I talked to my teachers and I talked to my friends and family, and they all said that if you wanted to build these types of rides, you really needed to understand how they worked, and I was always very interested in that. So I went ahead and started studying all the things and the science behind how they worked, and then I just realized that that was how you end up actually designing and building these great attractions.
Well, so when I was a kid, I dreamed of going to the moon, of flying around the world, right? Of building robots, you know, and riding roller coasters. And I would tell myself, you can do all of that, right? You can become part of all of it, and I have. My work here at Universal and my work before Universal involved designing robots and working on airplanes and designing airplanes and then designing roller coasters. And all of that was made possible by that little thing called math.